Meet Michael Johnson, a 34-year-old resident of vibrant Seattle, known affectionately in his family as The Rock. Michael is the person everyone relies on without hesitation. His siblings tell tales struck with admiration about how he always swoops in to alleviate financial burdens, lending more than just a helping hand. However, beneath this tapestry of reliability, Michael is shrouded in a cloak of invisibility when it comes to personal matters. In a family that leans heavily on his benevolence, Michael finds himself wrestling with an absence of recognition beyond his financial contributions. It's almost as if an unspoken contract exists, one where he's deemed indispensable as a provider but remains unseen as an emotional equal. To Michael, family means being present in moments of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. Yet, he often stands on the periphery, watching cherished gatherings unfold without him. Michael harbors a longing to be valued for more than his wallet's worth. This scene invites us to dive deeper into Michael's world, raising the poignant question: how does one find balance and belonging in a role where they feel overshadowed? What's next? Let's find out. In every family, loyalty serves as the unseen thread, weaving hearts together. A love language, unspoken, yet deeply felt. Michael Johnson understands this more than anyone, as we just saw his tireless devotion to his family's needs. But underneath this unwavering loyalty lies a hidden pain of sorrow that cuts deeper than any financial sacrifice. Despite his consistent support emotionally, Michael is left in the shadows, unrecognized and unappreciated. The loneliness that stems from family indifference can be more poignant than solitude itself. In Michael's journey, we witness how easily love can be overshadowed by neglect. One cannot help but wonder, what is the real cost of being the backbone that no one acknowledges? Family loyalty is a powerful bond, yet when met with disregard, it morphs into a burden, breeding resentment where there once was love. Consider for a moment the price of feeling valued only for what you provide, not for who you are. As Michael's story unfolds, it challenges us all. When does giving become too much? When our role shifts to being just a wallet, how do we reclaim our sense of belonging? What's next? Let's find out. We just saw how family loyalty can sometimes lead to a profound sense of invisibility and hurt. And now we'll delve into the heart of the growing tension within Michael's family. Michael is the kind of person who never hesitates to lend a helping hand, especially when it comes to his siblings. Whenever his brother Charles finds himself in a financial bind, it's Michael who steps in, ensuring that no need goes unmet. Yet, despite his unwavering support, Michael feels a quiet storm brewing beneath the surface, a storm of exclusion. Imagine this. Throughout the year, Michael consistently steps up, whether it's covering an unexpected medical bill for his sister, funding Charles' latest business idea, or simply being the one who ensures there's a safety net for them all. Yet, ironically, whenever it's time for the family to come together to celebrate meaningful moments, it seems there's no space for him. Take Sophie's birthday, for example, a day that should be filled with joy, laughter, and togetherness. Yet, while the entire family gathers, sharing memories and celebrating milestones, Michael finds out about it through social media posts. He's greeted by photos of cake, balloons, and festive cheer reminders that everyone else came together. He's left questioning why his place seems to vanish when there's no check involved. This exclusion cuts deeper with every missed invitation. He wonders how family events, once anticipated moments that replenished his spirit, transformed into silent affirmations of his outsider status. Does supporting his family mean losing his place within it? How can those connected by blood and love become estranged by absence and silence? It's a question many might resonate with. When will the balance tip back to appreciation over expectation? Michael faces a growing dilemma. Remain the family's dependable rock, or acknowledge the creeping resentment gnawing at his edges. This tension beckons reflection. How many of us give selflessly, only to find that what we truly seek is not acknowledgement but belonging? As Michael wrestles with these emotions, his journey leads us to an important crossroads. What's next? Let's find out. In the previous scene, we delved into the growing tension in Michael's family life, revealing how he often feels like an outsider, even in his own home. This perception deepens each time he's called upon to financially bail out his brother Charles or fund another family project, only to find himself excluded from personal gatherings. The incident that struck hard was Sophie's birthday party, an event that held sweet memories from the past. Michael had always enjoyed celebrating her special day. However, this year, he realized he hadn't received an invitation until after he saw the photos on social media. Seeing his family smiling, playing games, and cutting a cake, while he was nowhere to be found, was like a punch to the gut. It was a stark reminder of how, despite everything he does, he's often seen not as a beloved family member, but merely as the financier. Each omission felt like a brick in the wall, dividing him from the people he loved the most. Michael couldn't help but feel exploited. The realization gnawed at him, the silent message that his presence wasn't needed, just his wallet. This cycle of giving and being sidelined started to build a barrier, one of resentment creeping in. It wasn't just a case of being forgotten for a birthday party. It was the accumulation of countless moments when he was asked for financial help but never invited to share his thoughts or emotions. His heart ached with growing discontent, a profound wish for acknowledgement beyond the monetary. He wanted the affection that came naturally when families are together, unencumbered by obligations or roles. Michael found himself in a painful internal monologue, questioning, am I really part of this family, or just their safety net? This sparked a period of isolation, where he withdrew little by little, unsure if his own family genuinely valued him as more than a resource. Can Michael find a way through this murky understanding of his role, or is he destined to remain on the outskirts of his family's affection? What follows next might just hold the key. What's next? Let's find out. Scene 3. Sif, Fet after constantly feeling like just a wallet and grappling with the sting of being overlooked, Michael's world shifted with a painful interaction. Just earlier, we saw how dismissed he felt at family events. Michael found himself again reeling, seated in the somber shade of their family living room, having just overheard his father's words that burned deeper than he could admit. The words, meant to be private but carried by anger, still found their target. Telling Michael he wasn't truly a part of the family, just a convenience of financial fallback. Those words left a mark, twisting Michael's insides with a fierce storm of hurt and determination. His chest was heavy with the need to address it, yet his greatest solace came when he least expected it. Later that afternoon, as he sat on the porch, nursing his wounded pride and sipping cold coffee, his niece, Sophie, ambled over, holding something close. 8-year-old Sophie, with her innocent eyes and unfiltered charm, was a ray of light in Michael's otherwise gloomy day. They talked a while, her chatter about school and friendships providing a welcome distraction. But it was the little envelope she handed him that truly altered the course Michael had laid. Inside was a handmade card reading, in crooked letters and bright-colored crayons, "We love you even when they don't show it." Those simple words, bursting with sincerity, brought a fresh tide of clarity and reflection. Sophie's innocent gesture hit home more powerfully than any articulate speech. It ignited not just a reevaluation of his role within the family but also emboldened him to step forward and confront the long-standing discomfort he'd carried. Mike realized it wasn't about proving his worth to them. It was about recognizing self-worth and fostering a dialogue that had long been necessary. Inspired by the unexpected wisdom of a child, the path forward was clear: to voice his feelings, set boundaries, and redefine how he connected with his family. This insight, wrapped in childlike love, was a catalyst. But what would come of it? Facing the truth could change everything. But the transformation needed to start, and now was the time. What's next in Michael's journey? Let's find out. As we just saw, Michael was moved by his niece Sophie's heartfelt card. It was a simple yet profound message that ignited a spark of realization within him. He was cherished, even when it seemed like he was just a means to an end. This moment didn't just touch his heart, it prompted him to take a step back and reassess the boundaries he had, or rather, hadn't set. Michael began to reflect on how he allowed his role to be defined by others' needs, often to the detriment of his own well-being. It was clear that to nurture his relationships and himself, a change was necessary. He knew what he had to do. It was time to have a long overdue conversation with his brother Charles, with a mix of apprehension and determination. Michael approached Charles. The conversation was difficult, as these things often are, navigating the fine line between honesty and empathy. Michael, in his typical reserved manner, expressed his feelings, opening up about the struggles of feeling sidelined and the growing resentment he harbored. He spoke candidly about how their dynamic needed to shift from one of convenience to one of mutual respect and understanding. Charles, initially defensive, soon found himself listening more than speaking, contemplating his brother's words. It was a revelation to him to realize the invisible burden Michael carried. As they talked, the air of tension gradually dissipated, replaced by an emerging understanding. They discussed the importance of balancing family responsibilities with personal boundaries, acknowledging that love isn't measured by what one can give financially but by being present and appreciated. This challenging dialogue was a breakthrough for both brothers. It unfolded layers of empathy and sincerity that had been buried under unspoken assumptions. Michael's courageous step to articulate his needs not only redefined their relationship but also set a new precedent for openness within the family. The conversation concluded with an unexpected warmth, a renewed commitment to honoring each other, not just as siblings, but as individuals deserving respect and belonging. So, what's next? Let's find out how these revelations translate into lessons learned about communication and the essential nature of setting boundaries as we continue Michael's journey of family rediscovery. We just saw how Michael took those pivotal steps towards setting boundaries that had long been overdue. Now, it's time to delve into the profound lessons he's unearthed about communication and its vital role in maintaining healthy family bonds. Throughout his journey, Michael realized that boundaries are not barriers but bridges to deeper understanding and respect. They allow us to protect our peace while still holding others accountable for their actions. In a family where love is the binding force, it's easy to believe that sacrifice should know no bounds. However, Michael learned that true familial love respects individuality and cherishes well-being. It became clear to him that boundaries didn't mean shutting out his family but rather creating a healthy framework within which relationships could thrive. This process opened up new channels of communication. By voicing his needs calmly and sincerely, Michael demonstrated how clarity in expression fosters empathy and connection. Self-care emerged as a cornerstone in maintaining these ties. As Michael began to prioritize his emotional health, he found himself more present and engaged with his family. No longer merely a source of financial support, he became the brother, uncle, and son whose well-being was invaluable. He learned that when we care for ourselves, we bring our best selves to the family table. Emotional experiences shared in authenticity nurture bonds much stronger than those built merely on obligation and duty. Consider this insight. A family thrives not on the power of one member, but on the collective strength born out of mutual respect and support. How many times have we heard you can't pour from an empty cup? Michael's story embodies this truth. These revelations have not only reshaped his family dynamics, but have also enriched his life. In learning to love himself, he discovered deeper love within his family. Now, think about your own family. What conversations have you avoided? How might clarity and boundaries enhance your connections? Up next, let's explore how these lessons can enrich your daily life, encouraging a dialogue that appreciates every individual in the family. What's next? Let's find out. As we've seen, Michael's story reminds us of the profound impact that communication can have on our family dynamics. Reflecting on this, consider your own relationships. Are there conversations you've avoided having? Let's take a moment to think. You might find that speaking openly with those closest to you can illuminate misunderstandings and foster deeper connections. It's not just about setting boundaries, it's about creating a space where mutual respect thrives. Just as Michael learned to balance his needs with those of his family, we too can find harmony between giving and taking. Here's a surprising insight. Statistics show that families who communicate openly are more likely to navigate conflicts successfully and maintain long-lasting bonds. Isn't that something we all strive for? Let this be an encouragement to reach out, have that heartfelt conversation, and listen just as much as you speak. Cherish the support and respect built within your relationships, for they are the true essence of family. Remember, every word shared with sincerity can transform not only the dynamic but also the love that binds you together. What's next on Michael's journey? Let's find out how these lessons pave the way for a more empathetic family. In our journey through Michael's life, we've witnessed a painful yet transformative evolution, a shift that began with his solitary struggle, feeling more like a purse than a person, and has blossomed into a deeper family connection bound by mutual respect. When Michael found the courage to share his feelings with his family, the walls that had long kept him at a distance slowly began to crumble. His brave decision to speak out against the ingrained patterns of behavior was not an easy feat, yet it was exactly what his family needed to see their collective flaws. From the heartening support Michael received from his young niece Sophie, to the challenging conversations that unveiled shared truths, his bravery unlocked doors to genuine understanding. As Michael's voice became louder, so did his family's recognition of his worth beyond financial contributions. Discussions that were once filled with tension have now evolved into conversations rich with empathy and gratitude. The Johnson family started to redefine their interactions, finally acknowledging Michael's steadfast presence and invaluable support not merely in dollars, but in love, wisdom, and time. They began sharing responsibilities more equitably and created space for everyone's voice at the table, ensuring Michael knew he was truly valued. The journey was not merely about changing how they viewed Michael, but understanding the importance of seeing each other. As they embraced the insight that relationships require nurturing from all sides, their bonds grew stronger. It's a poignant reminder that families aren't just built on blood or banknotes. They thrive on genuine connection and shared humanity. If you ever found yourself in a similar role, might this inspire you to gather the courage to speak your truth, inviting those around you to see the real you? Reflecting on Michael's story, we're prompted to ask ourselves, how might we cultivate spaces where everyone feels heard and valued? What if, like Michael, our smallest acts of courage could lead to the most significant transformations? As we ponder these questions, let's keep in mind that every family, despite its struggles, has the potential to reshape into a sanctuary of understanding and love. What's next? Let's find out how these revelations can prompt all of us to acknowledge and reckon with our family bonds in more meaningful ways. We just saw how Michael's bravery to address his feelings brought a wave of empathy and transformation within his family. His story teaches us that to truly appreciate the heart of family, we must venture beyond the roles and duties we assume. Today, take a moment to pause and cherish those around you, not just for what they do, but for who they are. Family isn't about tallying sacrifices or tallying debts. It's about the invisible, unspoken bonds that keep us grounded and whole. Consider this: how often do we drift through life, forgetting to voice our gratitude and affection to those who matter most? Let's change that narrative. Reach out to a loved one today. Share a quiet moment, exchange a simple thank you, or just sit together. These connections are where real love lives, not in grand gestures, but in the small, sincere moments of belonging. Because at the end of the day, it's not about giving or taking. It's about feeling at home in each other's hearts. What could be more profound than that? So, what's next for you and your family? Let's find out.